What do we want?
Climate justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Climate justice.
To me, there's no separating social justice issues from environmental justice issues or climate action. You go much further when you have more people together at the same table discussing how the different issues intersect with one another and how we can get creative, innovate, change in a way that we haven't seen before.
They can't stop the revolution!
My name is Katharine Morris, and I am a scholar activist for environmental justice. So right now we're at the beach end of Seaside Park in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So over here we have this beautiful beach that unfortunately can be so heavily polluted by unregulated sewage that you're not even able to swim in the waters. And just over here we have the waste to energy wheelabrator incinerator, which is horrendous because of the fact that incinerators like this pollute the air with particulate matter like PM1 or PM2.5, as well as metals, acids, sulfur and nitrogen oxides that can cause higher rates of cancer or asthma rates, which are 5 times higher for Black children in Connecticut and 4.5 times higher for Latinx children in Connecticut. Compounding the issue, we have the PSEG power plant just on the other side of the park. All these represent the issue of environmental racism, as we know that the location of sites like this, the location of incinerators and power plants, is disproportionately affecting people of color and low-income communities, but Black people in particular. Environmental justice refers to the equal protection of all people, regardless of their ethnicity, race, or income status, for their land and built environment. Social injustices, structural injustices, and environmental racism create health inequities. This connection should be accounted for in the fight for environmental justice and climate action overall. Before I moved to Bridgeport, Connecticut, I lived in various towns throughout New Jersey and Connecticut. When I moved to Bridgeport, Connecticut for my high school years, that's when I noticed all the plumes of various air pollution sources, namely the incinerators and plants, but also the vehicular emissions that I wasn't exposed to before. My air was more polluted, my water was more polluted. I didn't have access to nature in a way that I was most familiar with. That really set some alarms off in my head and got me more invested in what I was realizing to be a systemic issue. The thing that struck me most about experiencing environmental racism in Bridgeport was how normalized it was to everyone else. To me, it did not make sense. It was like I was weird for not being okay with that and rejecting it as a norm. A lot of that turned into me volunteering locally. Once I got to college, that volunteering turned into doing research and organizing. So I created UConn Collaborative Organizing, or UCO, to do that work. It's about shifting the culture on campus to one where people recognize what they can do together and feel that sense of responsibility towards each other and feel the strength of collective action in a way that hopefully will last long after I've graduated. A lot of my work right now focuses on the community engagement and the health equity aspects of climate and environmental justice. I am engaging with other EJ activists who are doing great work around the state of Connecticut, helping them with their projects like Resilient Bridgeport. I'm also working on community engagement projects to really ground the community members of Bridgeport with a sense of pride and responsibility for their environment.
We deserve the right to live without the public health crisis that is polluting our air and our water and our soil. We deserve the right to live and thrive without the violence of systemic racism and poverty.
There's so many different ways that we can address environmental racism. It really starts with being creative, but also, most importantly, paying attention to the needs of the environmental justice communities in your surrounding, because there's no one-size-fits-all solution for these issues. At the end of the day, we're all functioning in the same ecosystem. We're all people surrounded by other people, interacting with other people. And if we don't work together collaboratively, we're not going to solve the gigantic problem that is climate change and environmental racism.
There is no change, there is no progress without structural and institutional transformation. and there's no time to waste. Environmental justice now and forever. Thank you.